Hello, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. As today we are going to be featuring a battle in Dirigible Derby in the Tier 10, now Premium, Grosser Kurfürst. This ship used to be the Tech Tree Battleship, but was replaced by the Preußen, and I will be covering that ship this coming Friday and Saturday with an upgrade in commander build. But for today, I wanted to talk more specifically about Dirigible Derby. And I see a lot of players who, I'm probably not the only one who's noticed this, but not playing the objective in this game mode. A lot of players treat it maybe more like a random battle and go off and do their own thing and focus on their own ship's health. Kind of more playing to their own versus more as a team effort, as this mode very much so requires. And that is focusing on the blimps, so getting them from their starting point to the end point before the enemy team. And then secondly is securing the endpoint objectives. So really those are the two main things. Keep your blimp moving, and if you get the chance, you get to slow down the enemy's blimp too. And the second objective is securing the endpoints. So that is presently where I'm heading towards in the Grosser Kurfürst. So we're going to be showing a lot of side here. We don't have the best concealment in the world, not running a full setup concealment build, but for now going more for a secondary brawling build, and I will also be covering this ship in an upcoming upgrade commander build. Not the end of this coming week, but next week. I already have some footage to share, but I get a little sneak peek here today of me playing. Now, one of the things that's important in this game mode is trying to focus on taking out the enemy destroyers, because if all the enemy team's destroyers are still alive, and you have no destroyers left, it kind of spells your end, spells the doom. Most random games, matches, as an example here in World of Warships. So you need to focus on going for the enemy destroyers when you have the chance. Even in the Battleship, you're going to see me taking a lot of shots at destroyers when we have the opportunity to. In terms of accuracy with the main battery, of course, the Grosser Kurfürst is not known for having fantastic accuracy, but that she has a lot of guns. We have the 420mm guns equipped. A lot of guns, but can throw a lot of stuff at the wall, so to speak. So something's going to land. Kind of sort of reminds me of the Fuso at Tier 6. She has 12 guns. You have 12 guns here at Tier 10. And there's a good chance that some of them are going to land and do damage, even though they're not the most accurate main battery. So we're kind of getting in a kiting position here now. I do have fire prevention equipped on the Grosser Kurfürst. Didn't really want to use my damage control party here because we have several enemy destroyers out here in the mid, but we do have our hydroacoustic search up, which is really helpful. Detect ships up to 6 kilometers away, and I think torpedoes up to 4 kilometers away, if I'm not mistaken. So we have this Z-52 has come out again, and we're waiting for him to make the turn there, so we're a better chance to land some shells on his side versus if he was directly motioned in towards us. And we landed 4 of 12 and did 5,400 damage. That's actually really good. So I'm trying to keep my secondaries range within the center of the map. But as I keep working this way, I'm going to work over towards the endpoint here in a moment. As you can see, the blimps are pretty much the same, almost the same progress right now. We're slightly ahead. But let's just talk about what I see a lot of players doing in this game mode that I think is really poor. This game mode, of course, is meant to be brawling, but I'll see a lot of ships that go up the 1 or 10 line. Now, for example, here on this map, in this situation, the blimps start off basically on the 9-10 line, and they move west. I will see destroyer players, battleship players. I've seen the Shimikazes do it. I've seen Borgones do it, where they'll sail up that 10 line, and they circle around to come in behind the enemy. Now, particularly what I find really poor is when destroyer players do this, like Shimikaze players. the enemy team is basically staying with the blimp, so they're moving away from you. So as a destroyer player, you're playing catch up, and you have to have your torpedo range even close enough, because if you torpedo at max range, the enemy team is going to leave the range of your torpedoes quite quickly. So it's not really good in that regard. So usually you see more destroyers where I feel like they make the most impact is in the mid area. Like you've seen a lot of destroyers in the middle area of this battle, and then also around at the end point. So for example, we have, it looks like it's a Summers that's on the 2 line. The enemy team is naturally going to be moving in that direction. They're going to be behind the island, so I don't have as much a problem with him being up there, because you can see he's distracting them. He's throwing torpedoes into the back, so that basically compromises the enemy team being able to feel safe behind the big island, the volcano island. So they have to deal with the threat. So he's going to be able to do quite well because he can throw torpedoes all into that area. For myself here, we've been kind of playing more passively, per se, and then we're about to be really aggressive here. We're going to step up. We're going to secure the endpoint, the objective of where your blimps are supposed to go. That's really one of the things I like to do when I'm in a battleship, cruiser, or destroyer, is solidifying the endpoint, so when you're able to receive the blimp. So if there's you sometimes will notice there's some weaker enemy ships that will be coming towards the end area, and you get to finish them off. I've played this map several times in Stalingrad, so I really like working this area with the Stalingrad. Utilizing the radar helps kind of zone some of the destroyers out, so quite nice. Yeah, this Petropavlovsk clear is pretty low health. We're trying to finish him off. But I don't know. I just see a lot of players that, for example, in this battle, like they go up the 10 line and then they're running along the BC line, and they're not really supporting and helping the team a lot, because the enemy team would naturally be moving away from that threat. So here things are about to pick up. We have this Schlieffen, who's on pretty low health, and we have multiple guns ready to go, which this should finish him off. So we get to finish him. So we've taken out the Schlieffen, and now we're going to turn in and engage with the Conqueror. I go ahead and decide to throw up the hydroacoustic search. You can see our Holland is actually doing really well. He's in a good position to deal with threats that are going to be pushing along with the blimp. So he's working behind that island position, which I think is quite nice. So I'm going to need to try to do what I can to support him. Our equipment tanks out the Conqueror. And then we have the destroyers up here. So we have our hydroacoustic search running. There's a Yu Yang up here. And then you can see the Z52 just popped up on the minimap. Got a little too close, so we're able to pick him off with secondaries. We're going to take one deep water torpedo, unfortunately, and we'll pop our repair party. And then here we have the... I'm trying to tell what enemy destroyer that is, the Hirugamo, who's come out to play, and we have hydroacoustic search up, so he's screwed. So we're going to get him with secondaries. And I should have already cut the throttle and turned into the left, but there's so much going on. I didn't think to do that sooner. So we're gonna take another torpedo or two here. Looks like just one on the bow. And then the Yu Yang, who's backing up. So my position here is helping to protect the Holland and securing the end zone. So I'm now moving up, getting this island between me and the other battleships that are out in the center. My main concern right now is the Yu Yang. I'm assuming if he doesn't already have torpedoes, he's probably gonna have torpedoes loaded shortly and be able to move in on us. I was thinking about going for the Petropavlovsk here because I was waiting to see what the Yu Yang was going to do, but I'm being conscious of him. But now it looks like he's decided to make his move. So when you have a destroyer who's gonna yellow you like this, you don't just shoot them instantly, because I'm not gonna land all 6 shells in my front 2 main turrets. So we're gonna wait for him to make his turn when he turns out to dump the torpedoes. I'm also trying to turn in here my bow towards him. So now he's making the turn. So we're gonna land all of those shells, and then our secondaries are instantly gonna follow that up with a kill. And we've taken out our 3rd enemy destroyer, so we've taken out 4. So things happened really quick succession there at the end, but we wanted to protect our Holland. We wanted to give our team a fighting chance here at the end, because you can see the blimps are really close, and actually the enemy team's blimp is ahead of our own. So we have our Yamato player who's pushing up here. It's going to be really good. So it's 3 versus 4 now. Well, we just took out the Summers, just took out the Petropavlovsk, so 3 versus 3. So he's done well in handling the team off to the northwest. And so now we're both of our battleships here, the Kremlin and the Yamato, are going to be able to slow down the enemy blimp and get to speed up our own blimp here in just a moment. So this is really a good example. Often I find the most success with the brawling battleships in World of Warships in general these days is making your move in, let's say, the last half of the battle. Trying to retain your health pool, wear the enemy team down a little bit, and then you're able to make your move. And we were able to, I think, do that for the most part pretty effectively here at the end. And that we weren't afraid to just shoot destroyers. Even though maybe it's not as satisfying to get some big devastating hits, because destroyers have a smaller health pool. But all in all, we're able to make a really good, helpful gesture for our team to hopefully be able to take the win here at the end, as our blimp just passes the enemy blimp. And so that goes Kurfürst. He's a little late showing up. And so basically, what there goes Kurfürst. He's got the health. He should have already been stepping onto the circle much sooner. As we lose our Yamato, but the damage is already done. It's too late. So playing the objective is most important, in my opinion, Dirigible Derby. So it's keeping your blimp going, and if you get the chance, you could slow down the enemy blimp. And secondly, is securing the end goal, escorting the blimps to their objectives. And then so, like this, you can see how close it was and how big of an impact we were able to personally make in this end of the battle here, in ensuring a victory here, even though it was super close. So we're going to end with over 395,000 credits, 6,630 experience, 747 free XP, with 94,000 damage with 4 kills and 65 target hits. But we got, was it 2, maybe 3 secondary kills? Because the Schlieffen was definitely low when we took him out. So really good stuff here in this battle. So we got a third of the enemy team. So we're going to be second with over 1,900 base experience. You can see the Kremlin, who died towards the end. He was definitely carrying weight there. Your Yamato player was definitely doing well. In addition to the Summers player, he was playing good, wreaking havoc in their spawn area, that backfield area towards the end objective. Here you can see the overview of the damage. So we tanked over 2 million potential damage. And we did a good amount of damage on the Kurfürst, that Conqueror, and several other ships off to the right that you can't see. And this is how we ended with premium accounts. I find Dirigible Derby doesn't pay well in credits, so I've actually not been running many combat signals on my ships. If I'm running it like here, goes to Kurfürst, it's probably just running maybe ramming flag, and I might have been doing the flooding signal, the fire signal, and the health and secondary, extends your secondary range. But then there's been a lot of other times maybe I only take the secondary and ramming flag. So I just don't take many, because I find that I feel like Wargaming could turn up the earnings and credits a bit more in this game mode. I think it would go a bit further away, but experience wise, it's not terrible, not bad earnings. So yeah, so that is how I would phrase in tackling Dirigible Derby here with the Gross Kurfürst, and just overall strategy that you need to focus on the blimps and the end objective, and not play more selfishly maybe as a player, where you're just focusing on as much damage as possible, trying to go in the backfield in the direction the enemy team is not going to be moving, because you already know where the enemy team is moving. And so as a destroyer player, you can make really good effective work, especially in choke points like Shimakaze, the F3 torpedoes that go like 80 knots. You can make really good use of them. And so I see a lot of players take Shimakaze's, Hollands, Summers in this game mode, and they tend to do rather well for themselves. So on that note, if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.